Come around behind it.
That's not bad. Line looks good. All the way hard, please. Much better line, Daniel.
Yep. Sweep. We'll get the corner guard the long way. Okay, thank you.
All right, we are back here with you at the 13th annual Cherry Blossom Bonspiel at the Potomac Curling Club at the National Capital Curling Center. This is draw number 8. We've got a team out of the Pittsburgh Curling Club skipped by Steve Buffington versus a team out of, I forget which club, skipped by Mark Curtis.
It's not listed, so I do not know what club it's from.
It might be in the front there.
I don't believe it's in the front. Because
nope,
they were on
it just has the skip
just
names.
Mark Curtis.
Okay. That's right. They might be sort of a mixed bag, too. I saw a lot of different name tags. On
yeah, they
players.
got, looks like a husband-wife combo. Lori and Scott at the front end, Ron. And Pam
is the third, yeah.
I'm going to let you pronounce that last name.
Looks like Olenek.
I like your pronunciation choice.
Yeah. And on the other side, the Pittsburgh team, as I mentioned, the skip is Steve Buffington. Advice, we've got Jim Meyer. Throwing second is Al Tarka, and their lead is Marie Rose. This is a second round game of the first event.
Okay.
Actually, all 4 games we've got going on the ice right now are second round games of our first event. These teams all won either last night or this morning and are playing their second games. And we are working on getting the names and colors and everything of what's going on elsewhere in the shed so we can bring you updates from other sheets as well. But we will be featuring this game here on Sheet B under the cameras.
Yeah, the sliding's much better. Oh yeah, the sliding's much more better way to do it. Yep, come on.
Looks like they're playing the
That's good.
draw round or the freeze.
That's what we need. There we go.
Sorry, draw round. I was not seeing where the stones were there.
Give you a little more ice, Lori.
All right, so we're going to try to draw around that center line guard, it looks like, again. This is the last stone for the second from Team Curtis, Lori. They're sweeping it right away. Line looks okay. It looks like the ice is just a little little heavy tonight. So There's a lot of stopwatch looking at and shaking heads in disbelief going on out there. And we've added to the pile out front. So we are going to try to go around the center guard for, I believe, the 4th time in a row. Comes out with what looks like close to normal control takeout weight, and maybe that'll get around.
I think you've been curling down in Richmond too often, because I think that was probably maybe about back line the whole way.
Okay, well, you're probably right. I was maybe dramatizing for the audience at home.
That's fine. It does show you that we are, in fact, having some first-hand ice, though, as it stops straddling the tee line, and he definitely came out pretty heavy.
It stopped pretty abruptly as well. It did not glide through. So right tee line fully buried, though. It really curled at the end. He was by the guard by a pretty wide margin, but still full bury.
Yeah, still buried pretty well.
Yeah.
And so I've got the paperwork sorted out here. Other games we've got going on here. On sheet A, we've got a team out of the Potomac Curling Club, Bruce Black, curling against a team out of Dallas-Fort Worth, Jason Hotra. On sheet B, it's the one we're showing you now. On C.
That's not right. He's sitting right here, so he can't be curling.
All right, that works. Got it in position.
Okay. On C, we've got a mix-up on the draw schedule, apparently. And on sheet D, we've got... no, that's B. Which one of these is D? This is sheet D. Pittsburgh's Rich Ashford rink versus another Potomac team, Laura Hewer's rink. And on sheet C, we've got Rick Balala out of Chesapeake Club with his Chesapeake and Plainfield team playing against Stapera?
Jack Stapera.
Jack Stapera.
Out of Schenectady. I know that's who they're playing because that was the teams that lined up against me. I would have played Jack had we not got second last night.
That's fine. What I've got here is a program that someone filled out all in advance.
I believe this was a March Madness type bracket.
Well, right, but
so they predicted that Robinson would beat Stapera, but Robinson kind of didn't show up. So that game didn't end up being very close.
And I get that upsets happen, and it's when you fill out a bracket in advance that will happen. But then they circled Robinson anyway as if that was a win. That's why I was very confused.
That definitely wasn't a win. I believe it was Mark. What was the final score in that game?
It's away.
8-1. Mark Robinson, who's sitting to my left, has confirmed that he was on the losing end of that game. Well, he's also just informed me that he just beat me. So he may have some truth to that statement. I do happen to remember a very lucky shot that was made in the 6th end where he completely missed, hit an outside guard and rolled in undercover. But anyway, I digress. On to the game at hand.
We got to stay on top of L, so that's important.
Pittsburgh looks like they're sitting shot. And
many years ago. That's right. Very nice.
Steve's throwing red rocks. So I believe, yeah. Pittsburgh is sitting shot. Oh, nope. I am sorry. The Pittsburgh skip had the wrong color of rock in the hack, so I was confused. Curtis is sitting shot. And Steve is trying to throw, I believe, a tap back of his yellow onto the one in the 4-foot. Looks a little wide.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not going to curl. I would say it doesn't look bad, but it's not picking up any turn here.
No. It seems like the last flood we've created a little bit of championship ice where weight is very dependent on our curl, especially at the end. If if the weight's right, it'll move, and if it's not, sometimes it just wants to run straight.
Yeah, it has definitely picked
it's
up the
short
pace
guard
of the ice a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of compliments from people who are used to more competitive ice.
Yeah.
Coming here and are definitely glad that we've got that going on. The other side of that, when you're sort of used to it being kind of sticky and slow due to the Maryland humidity, and then we scrape it and scrape it and flood it and scrape it and scrape it, it picks up and you lose your home ice advantage all of a sudden.
Yep, and it makes you look a little silly too when the difference between a tenth of an increment can make a huge difference in the amount of curl you get. So, but it makes for some exciting games.
It does, and it makes for you definitely have to be precise in your shot.
Yep,
If you have a problem with your release, the ice runs a little straight, and if you push it out, it'll just keep going out on you.
Absolutely.
If you pinch it in, it'll just stay in on you.
We learned all of those lessons the hard way today. So Curtis is playing, well, this is not the shot he's playing, I'm pretty sure. It's happening, but it doesn't really do any damage. Essentially takes away the run back from Buffington. And I'm assuming Buffington has the hammer. No, they do not. So.
No.
Not really sure what Steve's going to can do here, but I'm also not really sure what Curtis can do to get more than one.
I'll move it a little bit further this way, and then we can raise that red one.
It's hard to play as yellow.
Yeah, but I'm saying if the yellow one was, if I moved it just a little bit further that way.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's just going to guard the pushback?
I think so.
Yeah. Essentially just going to concede the point to Curtis here.
That's a good plan. I mean, he's got the one in there. There's not really a good way to get it out without risking your own stones.
Yeah.
A force to one is always a good result.
I mean, he is sitting second, third, and fourth, so he can afford to be a little risky. I don't think that's a guard. I think he's trying to run back. Oh. A good try, but doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, gotta hit it right here. Okay? All right. Thanks. We'll try and raise ours into the red.
Mike, if any Canadian to American translation services are required, I do work for a Canadian company, so I have experience in both.
Must be pretty low hiring standards over there.
No, it's a pretty big company. 70,000 employees worldwide.
Well, there we go. That's good. Now, which company has 70,000 employees that's based in Canada?
You've not heard of them?
No. Who do you work for?
I work for a company called CGI.
CGI. I've heard of them.
Yeah, see?
There we go.
Headquartered in Montreal.
The French Canadian. They don't really count.
Well, the president of the company is French Canadian, but the rest of them are.
All right. We only claim them when they like us. It depends on the week. That ended up one, did it not?
Yes, Mark Curtis was able to get a second rock into the 4-foot there, but it collided with the one he already had. Moved one out, but left the other one in. So he had The shot was there for 2, maybe. He was able to get the line, but he had to throw a good weight to get it through there. I don't think he had a really chance to stick that second rock.
It was pretty tough shot for 2. I mean, they kind of both conceded to 1 pretty early. Probably not really where Curtis wanted that first guard, but it's a guard nonetheless, so good weight. Buffington seems content just to throw another guard on the corner. I would have probably come in on that myself, but everyone has a little different strategy.
All right, so in addition to having all the teams and all the sheets sorted out, I've now sorted out colors because
That helps.
That's what I learned today is my colors, my red and my yellow. So I can tell you that on sheet C, we've got a first end score hung, and that is 2 red, which means Jackie Stopera from the Schenectady Curling Club has taken a 2-0 lead over Rick Balala from the Chesapeake/Plainfield clubs. He's from Chesapeake. Some of his team is from Plainfield. And we've also got a score on sheet D, but now someone has stood in front of it, and I can't see it anymore. But I believe it was 1 yellow, which would mean that Laura Hewer's rink from the Potomac Curling Club has taken a 1-0 lead over Rich Ashford out of the Pittsburgh Club. It's either 1 or 2 yellow because those are the only numbers that guy is standing in front of.
And they quickly picked out that first guard that leaked a little too far and became a biter. So we're kind of a reset back to after the first shot.
And I was wrong. It is a 2, I think. No, they've got, it's a 2. They've got the hammer sort of positioned in the wrong spot, covering up the 1, but the 1 is under the 2. So after all the math, it is 2-0 Laura Hewer over Rich Ashford. I had to carry the 1.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, I had to use all my high school level math there.
I trust your judgment.
The game on sheet A has moved into the second end, but they have not posted a score from the first. We will bring you that when they do. In the meantime here, Steve Buffington draws mostly behind the guard. It's actually
about 7/8 exposed.
Oh, okay.
From your angle, it looks a little different. But
From my angle, it looks like he's got a rock width behind there.
No, it's pretty open. So they're going to go after it with hack weight.
Yep.
I'm assuming hack weight. I didn't see the call, but maybe control. No, it looks control. It looks like she actually threw a lot more than control. I don't think this is going to get there.
You know, here it comes crossing the center line. I don't think it's going to cross enough to get all the way out to the 4-foot line there, though.
Yeah.
She was that wide.
Yeah, she was just, you hear Mark say that she was just wide. She only threw maybe hack to bumper weight there, which was probably the right weight for the shot.
So Steve's going to go to split the house here. A call I like.
Yeah, when you got the hammer, you really don't want to just bury 1 because then you're going to end up with just getting 1. He got a good force. Now he wants to answer with at least a 2 here.
This is an interesting dynamic. We've got a stick thrower that throws with a slider.
Yeah, and that is an interesting thing. They don't see that a lot.
No.
The most common example I know of is Jay Davies out of the Potomac Curling Club.
Okay.
Played with him in in A-League here. And I am thoroughly impressed every time I see him do it.
No, that's I kind of like that element. You get a little bit more of the feel for the sliding. Maybe levels it a little bit more with, a lot of people have the argument that the stick guys have an advantage, but I like that technique.
I think it definitely helps you feel the weight a bit better.
Yeah.
If you used to throw a slide
right,
and then transition to the stick, it probably helps you keep that push out of the hack.
Yeah.
Muscle memory there.
My father has converted to a stick delivery, but I haven't really seen him play since he did it, so I'm curious now if he slides or just walks.
So really nice hit and roll here.
Very nice, very nice.
Moves the yellow stone into the back of the house, out into the 12-foot circle.
Probably half buried.
Yeah, rolls partially under the guard there. From the view on the monitor, but yeah, about half is close enough
For government work.
Yeah. We do a lot of government work here.
Yes, we do. We've got a lot of government employees. So Steve Buffington's going to go after it, obviously. Looks like it's probably going to wreck.
Yeah, that doesn't have a lot of a chance to get around that guard. It doesn't. It splits it
not
open.
Quite.
Does roll into the rings and starts to bury under that guard.
That's actually
Gets
a
a
pretty
spin
good
back
result.
at the end, but it's not a. Mark's going to have to try to cover up his own here. Well, he's going to go for this hit. Maybe he's going to try to roll back over.
I think that's his logic, is hit and maybe roll even just to the center. Maybe something you can play with as the end goes on. It's not going to – I can't see he's going to get the roll to cover the other stone.
Even if it rolls to cover, the Yellowstone's not that high, and it would not be separated very far. So maybe if he can roll back and freeze, or just roll in the same direction and just have two on the button.
Roll and freeze would be nice. Oh, it's got to move a long ways. And that, folks, I think is a field goal.
That is right down the pipe there.
Just maybe threw a little more weight than he was expecting. So now Steve's got a decision. So he's gonna hit and try to roll behind. I like that call.
I do. It splits the house even wider.
Yep.
Puts all three of his rocks either undercover or like that one in the back, just buried and not undercover, but that one in the back is just there's not a good shot at it. The high guard kind of covers it. Just the fact that it's out that far wide in the house kind of makes it hard to get at. If he can hit and roll well off,
he looks wide again here, though. I think he's going to flash. And that, folks, is another field goal. Unfortunately, field goals don't count for 3 in curling.
No.
So, tough miss there for Buffington. Had a nice opportunity to really go into control.
No, but that's basically the house is the same as it was 2 rocks ago.
Right.
Both skips now probably trying to throw the same shots.
Yeah. Interesting.
One good miss deserves another.
I might have went for the guard here again, honestly, but,
He's got that one in a great spot. Something in the top of the 12-foot or up in front of the house would be a good way to protect that 1 point. But he's going to be a little aggressive here.
I think we've got a field goal party going on.
Yes, that is going to be closer than the first.
That is 3 field goals in a row. So now the question of, I think
the
Steve doesn't have a choice but to throw the hit.
He has to get the red one out of the house.
Yeah,
definitely.
he does, absolutely. Tightens up the ice a little bit. Looks better.
Definitely
Possibly
not as far
narrow.
from the center line. It could be over curling on them. They're holding it.
I'm not even sure what you call 4 in a row, but that's a quad.
So essentially, the
just
vices
fast forward over
just
the seconds.
didn't throw anything there.
That was.
Those
yeah,
were the
you're right.
seconds? Or those were the vices? I'm
Those
pretty sure
were the
those were the
vices. You're right. Yeah. So we just essentially
the front end set up the game, and now we're just going to go to skips rocks here.
Yeah. So it's a 6 rock game essentially. So we're going to try the same shot for the 3rd time.
Different person throwing it.
Same ice.
Probably get a different result.
Same ice, different person, exactly. I think he's going to throw a little quieter. So probably more like bumper hack. You got to think here. No, it's more than bumper hack, but
this is
looks good.
Looks like a good bumper, maybe to a control weight. It's definitely coming over here. I think he's going to get.
I think we got another field goal. That is 5 in a row, folks. 5 field
That
goals
is
in a row.
Closer yet than the other 2 were, but They are honing in on that. If they had 4 more rocks, they would definitely make that shot.
Wow. It's late night, and I'm just gonna give the teams out there a little bit of credit. We were out there a couple hours ago, and they haven't scraped today, so it's getting a little squirrely, the ice. So that could be factoring in a little bit to that as well.
It could be. We've got 32 teams here, a packed draw schedule.
Yeah.
Ideally, you have a break somewhere in between after a few games to have a midday scrape. We could not work that into the schedule, so there was a scrape in the morning, I believe.
There was a scrape this morning, but yeah.
But yeah, we're on draw number 8, so this will be the 6th draw played today.
Yeah.
So.
And no, yeah, they haven't dragged rocks or anything either, so it's
Yeah,
you're going to get a few spots.
We do the re-prep, but there's going to be a few.
This is
patches,
amazing.
yeah.
We are going to go for our 6th field goal in a row. That is essentially 6 rocks that have done absolutely nothing in a row.
I
think we're going for a record here at this point.
I'm glad that I don't have to keep track of statistics here. Shooting percentages would be just dismal. I would not want to put them on the screen right here.
So we've moved
the broom here. I think
we've changed
Mark
strategies.
is just going to go for the guard here. Either that, or he's just going to take just no ice and just throw this as hard as he can, maybe. But I think he's going to.
I think he's going to try to draw on top of this because he feels like it's unhittable at this point.
Yeah, both rocks have a force field around them. I don't know if you realize that, but we do have NASA scientists hard at work in the ice shed, and they have developed rock repulsion technology.
And Mr. Mike Churlo is kind of a little bit getting a little excessive on his keyboard here.
Whoa, this is
right.
over curling on them, and it may come up light unless they can bring that. Okay, they've got it over the hog line, but it is not really covering anything in particular. Maybe a third. No, not anymore.
He's guarded the field goal.
That is true. He will block the extra point here.
There is no way they're throwing a field goal
if they go for the 7th,
in the same spot.
He is going to block the extra point. This could go down as least convincing steal of the Bonspiel.
It's a nice term, least convincing. So they've changed turns here, though, so maybe we'll have a change in fortunes as well. Steve's still the president of the club. I want to get my facts straight. All right, so Steve Buffington's first rock here. Looks pretty good. Looks really good.
On it. Line is looking nice. Doesn't need to worry about the roll.
He's not going to crash.
Doesn't have any more rocks. It's got it on the nose.
Nice.
And that's going to be 3 yellow for Steve Buffington.
No, there's still 2 more rocks.
There's 2 more rocks?
No, you're right. They're done.
Yeah, that's the hammer.
My fault.
And then it's going to be.
I kind of got lost in all the field goals there. So.
Yep. So that was in fact the hammer. So that is in fact 3 points for Steve Buffington and his team from the Pittsburgh Curling Club. That will give him a 3-1 lead.
Now, did Al tell me you're president of the Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Any updates on our other scores?
We finally saw the first on A. The Dallas-Fort Worth Club hung a 2. That's Jason Hotra over the Potomac Club's Bruce Black. We don't have any second end scores from the other games.
It's not looking good for Black. It looks like they're sitting at least 2 in the 4-foot, and Black is going to throw his last stone. So his best case scenario here is to eke out at 1.
Yeah, he can nose hit for 1. I guess the double for 1.
Yeah, it's not. He doesn't have a clean nose hit. There's a guard in front of it.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Obviously, you guys can't quite see that.
Oh, right.
So.
Yeah, he needs to try to just nudge that one off the button and
Yeah.
stick around.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's there. it's a little tough from this angle to see exactly how much is exposed, but Bruce usually makes these shots when I play him, so I think he's going to make it.
Oh, we've got a second end report on sheet C. Jackie Stapera, Brian Damon, Nancy Worth, and Sandy Bernstein from Schenectady have stolen a 4 in the second end to take a 6-0 lead over Rick Balala, Linda Carubia, Kathy Jones, and Chuck Fetterfoot.
That might be a felony.
Out of Chesapeake and Plainfield. No, I think you have to steal at least 5
for it to be a felony
to kick in.
Okay. Still impressive.
I think 4 is just a Class A misdemeanor. Yeah. I'd have to call my lawyer. So we're beginning the third end here in our featured game. After the big end for Buffington, we are resetting the stones. Hope we'll have maybe, let's see, what's a good politic way to phrase this? Let's just hope both teams are able to execute their shots more close to their plan than we saw last end. What we have so far is a red stone in the back of the house for Mark Curtis, a centerline guard up for Steve Buffington. Sweepers on this rock pretty hard. Trying to drag this into play. Drag it as far back as we can. I say we as if I'm out there with them, and I'm clearly not.
Ladies, thank you. Great sweeping.
And that is going to be a nice low guard. Mark probably didn't want that as close to the center line as that, but you got to take what you get sometimes. This Yellowstone has come around the guards, down into the house, and that is going to sit in the top of the 4-foot, buried under the guards. That is a very nice draw. We'll see what Team Curtis wants to try to do about it. Looks like he wants to follow it down.
Never, never, never. Here she comes. Here she comes. Don't touch it. Don't touch. Don't touch. Come on. Chick, chick, chick. There we go. That works. Thank you. Great stone, Lori.
I agree. Moves the yellow out from under the guards somewhat. Puts another one into the 4-foot. Pretty nice result there. Looks like yellow's going to try to answer by just taking out these reds on the side. From my angle, this looks a bit wide. He's going to catch the top one and jam.
You're killing me, Al.
No fair. You're bringing
Yeah, but just go Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu, whatever, ninja training.
I am the least bit.
So, right. Sam walks over and he goes to Todd. Hey, Todd, you hear the snow in the forecast? didn't think it was that funny.
I would imagine not.
All right, got pretty solid takeout weight here thrown at the yellow rock.
Looks like is she gonna get the roll inside that they want?
She's gonna hit it a little bit inside, not enough.
No, she got nose. I'm sure he wanted the roll in.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to roll in. He definitely probably didn't want to jam like that and leave the yellow in the back of the house. But he is sitting second, just like he was before. So
if Buffington has the opportunity to really move in the driver's seat here with a hit and roll.
Indeed. Buffington with that draw to just the edge of the button there really took control of the house. We've got a second-hand score on sheet D. Laura Hewer has stolen 2.
Wow.
To take a 4-0 lead over Rich Ashford.
I called their game this morning, Laura. She played a really strong game this morning against a team against San Francisco. I mean, they were a very good team, and Laura made a bunch of just really solid shots. I mean, it was a clinic. It was very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Vice Arthur, second Dave Norman. I play with them, not on a team, but they play on another team in one of my leagues, and they're pretty solid together.
Yeah.
As the lead, Stacy Sleddy, she's a very solid curler.
She is Stacy. I mean, curling with Stacy every Wednesday. She's a very good curler.
That's a really good team, top to bottom.
Yeah, I've never seen Laura play before, but she, like I said this morning, I was very impressed with their level of play. I mean, they really executed.
Yeah, I think I saw Laura play in the Childs.
Based on the way she plays out here, I'm surprised she didn't win the Childs, to be honest with you. I mean, she played that good this morning.
If I recall, they did have a few really strong games.
Yeah. I mean, at any Bonspiel, it's always down to one bad game can throw you off your course as well. So.
Yep, and in my case, it's always my first game. I have.
It's true. You guys have a pattern there.
We
have you ever won a first game?
She was a little tender with that.
I think Dobb said you guys have never won a first game.
He and I have not. I have on a different team like 3 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. I think we broke that streak actually at Dykes this year. Might be our first time we've ever won our first game. So,
yeah,
I understand the struggle.
I mean, you could say it a struggle. You could say that we're just,
shooting for the B event.
Shooting for B events. I mean, we're not.
Well, now in this draw, they're dropping the second losers into the B events as well, so it makes it extra degree difficulty for our B event here.
Yeah, well, if you're just going to have to be anyway, just go ahead and drop in early.
That's true. That's a good point.
It's a nice.
Nothing like a win streak.
Yeah. I mean, if you win and then you lose, then your momentum's all off.
It's true. It does mess with your psyche. So it looks like Buffington is sitting shot here on the top of the button. Looks like he's very well buried. And Curtis is really just trying to figure out which rock he's running back.
Yeah, I think the yellow is lined up better.
But the red is his own color.
The red is his own color, and it's closer.
Yeah.
So it's a shorter run back, and if something goes wrong, at least you put your own rock in the house. Yeah.
There's a lot more happy misses on the red than the yellow.
I agree with the call.
Absolutely. Looks pretty good out of her hand. It's got to move. It's not wanting to curl a whole lot. There it goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's off that guard.
Yep, she cleared the guard.
Just off the guard.
Beautiful shot.
What
beautiful
a raised
shot.
takeout to sit 2.
Wow. With the third yellow exposed as well. So just a pistol of a shot there.
That's my Pam. She's a heck of a player. Heck of a player.
Just perfect execution on that.
Just great. So they're sitting 2 completely buried. Steve's really just trying to figure out what to do now. Obviously, he's got his own run back there on the top yellow guard. I think that's what I would call. I'm not sure if that's what he's calling.
That's probably it. There's not much you can do here in terms of drawing around.
I mean, you can off yourself, hit and roll off your own, but that's
really dangerous because if you
Right.
don't stick in the forefoot,
you've opened up the drawing area
Yeah.
for the other team as well. The good news is he's fourth shot, so
he's third and fourth, right? So
Yeah.
if he loses one yellow, he's still sitting another
Right.
one in there.
obviously he must be playing the tap back here.
Yeah, I like the run back. You can play it hard. And
Looks like he's
just
playing a
make
lot of ice, though.
Well, he might be playing it soft. I would
think he's
say
playing
you,
a little
you
soft.
can play it hard and just make the straight raise takeout. You can play a little bit soft and just raise that top yellow into the forefoot circle.
Yeah,
Just bury it under the guards. Not worry about moving the reds, just outcount them.
absolutely. He is trying to steal here, so he's probably very happy with one.
He might even be happy just
Limiting them
cutting
to one.
red down to
yeah,
one. Yeah.
absolutely. Looks pretty good.
I like the line.
No, I think he's no, there.
They
it
might
is.
wanna
No,
hold this.
Yeah,
There it
that looks
goes.
pretty good.
Raising it back.
Raising it back.
Oh, it.
So unfortunately, as good as that shot was, red still sits two.
I have to hit this
Red still sits two.
right here.
The sort of benefit of playing down weight is the shooters stayed in there and cluttered it up a little bit.
It's true. So, but
Mark Curtis has to try to play this double to try to get three, or to
he
try to
just
sit
knows.
three. I mean, it's not the hardest of doubles, but anytime you have to try to move two stones, it's harder than moving one.
Yeah, well, we still have. There's only the first skip stones. Yeah.
Oh, right. I mean, he could play them one at a time, I suppose, too. But if he goes for it and doesn't quite hit it, you
I
have to
think
assume that Buffington's going to put up a guard over there.
I believe he's going to play quiet weight, try to get to the inside of the stone and kind of roll in on top of his own, and that would leave him sitting three buried.
Oh, yeah. That would be good, too.
Yeah, I believe that's what he's calling here. Do we have anybody mic'd up skip-wise or not?
We have Mark Curtis. Steve Buffington elected to not wear the microphone.
Well, we
do
missed
have-
him now, but maybe then the next one we'll try to get him.
Well, we can
got it.
listen in here. We'll hear him as he calls the shot after he releases it.
Hear the beautiful roar of the stone
Heavy,
there.
light, what?
He thinks he's light.
It's going to bend at the end, Pam. Yep.
Gotta hold it. Gotta hold it.
Looks like he's still got maybe a little piece of that yellow. No.
No, he's actually just went for a cold draw.
we go.
Successfully.
He is. All of those rocks are touching the 4-foot
Actually
circle.
might have been a better shot than the in-off. That's just a
That's what
great shot.
That's the that was there. So
That in fact was there. Yes.
Yes, Mark, you're correct. You made it.
So he has buried his stone under a guard that no one really thought was a guard. It is now.
And now Buffington's almost forced to hit off his own, don't you think?
Yeah, he really has to try to hit and roll in.
Yeah.
He can run one back and take out one red, but he's still going to be leaving red two, maybe one if he can leave his in like halfway in the 4-foot,
Right.
which would then leave Mark with a draw for two.
Which would be a great result looking at this right now. I mean, this is trouble time.
Considering if he doesn't make anything here, it would be a draw for four.
Right. And with that shot he just made, he clearly has a pretty good sense of what's going on the ice. So it appears that they are going to, it looks like a cold draw. So he looks like he's going to try to freeze on top of that red on the button.
That would be a great result if he gets it.
Absolutely. Steve Buffington, he's the president of the Pittsburgh Curling Club. I don't know if you knew that.
didn't know exactly. I knew he was a relatively prominent member. I wasn't
Yeah,
aware he
he's
was the
the
president.
president. I believe he's also representing Pittsburgh in the upcoming Arena Nationals competition.
I'm sorry, I don't really follow those arena club happenings.
Well, it's it's our world, but we do have a nationals for arena club curlers that happens once a year. This year it's in Iowa City, I believe. Cedar Rapids. I'm sorry, Iowa.
Oh, Cedar Rapids. Oh, never mind.
Oh, look at that! Well, he's shot. I didn't think there was an ability to be shot.
And
wow, he's exposed, but he's shot.
Not completely, though. I mean,
no, not completely.
There is a shot here for Red to get 4, but there's.
And that's why he's going to nationals, I guess. Clearly, great shot by Steve.
So we've got some other scores. They did hang the second on A. We can confirm that it was, in fact, another 2 for Jason Hotra out of Dallas-Fort Worth. We had suspected it was, but we did not get the official score. We've got a third on sheet C. Rick Bilala has come back into the game with a 4.
Wow.
To make that game 6-4 in favor of Jackie Stapera.
All right, so Curtis has got an open hit. It does not look good.
No,
I think he's going to wreck.
Looks like he's coming up light and curling here.
So that's that misses a 5-point swing.
It does. That is a steal of 1
versus a hit for 4. It's a tough break.
It's a tough break, but compared to the second, that third was a phenomenally played end.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that was a phenomenally played anyway, compared to any end.
Yeah, no, it was very well
played. Especially compared to an end with 5 or 6 misses in a row.
And you can see from Mark's expression, this is not his first time in the rodeo. He's not too concerned. He knows there's a lot of game left, and can't get too worried about a missed shot. There's lots of time to make those points back.
Yeah, like you said, it's only the third end. And he just had a shot for 4. So, it's an unfortunate miss. But 3 or 4 are never out of reach. And he's only down 3.
Not.
So with 5 ends to play,
yep,
all he needs is 1 more end, just like the one he just had. And we've got a third end report on sheet D. It's another steal from Laura Hewer. This one 1 point. So she's up 5-0 over Rich Ashford. Mark coming out of the house to help bring this guard back. Wants to try to make it a deep guard.
All right, thank you, Scott.
A little bit close to the center line, but
otherwise it would have held.
Pretty nice corner guard. I think he was actually trying to draw around.
I could have. Yeah.
And hello to Greg Major, watching from Atlanta. Thanks for joining us. You and 23 others, 24 viewers watching this draw number 8 of our 13th annual Cherry Blossom Bonspiel. Steve Buffington calling for a draw around the guard. It just rubs the guard ever so slightly. Still goes back into the house, but doesn't come around and under the guard.
Yep, Yep. Yes. Yes.
Ooh, this one looks like it was
Take
kind of
the
running
roll,
straight.
take the
Then all of
roll.
a sudden it curls hard. Crashes on the guard there. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Out of the toilet.
Glad to have you, Greg, watching from Atlanta. Unfortunately, we don't have a team from Atlanta here this year. We have a couple teams from San Francisco, though, and a couple teams from Texas, team from Wisconsin.
Yes, we have 2 from Dallas-Fort Worth, 1 from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. I believe those are actually close friends of Jackie Barris.
I believe they are as well, yes.
I know she's originally from Wisconsin. I don't know exactly where. Probably somewhere in the vicinity of Wauwatosa.
That would be my guess as
That's
well.
just fun to say.
Wauwatosa.
Wauwatosa.
I grew up near a place called Wawanesa, Manitoba, Canada, but Wauwatosa is even better.
It is. And I was looking through, here in the back of the program, we've got the past, event winners here. And there's a Wauwatomic, which I'm guessing was a
Wauwatosa
and
/ Potomac. Nice.
But none of the names are the same. So
Very
we have
nice,
2
very
completely
nice.
distinct groups of people from
From
Potomac
Wauwatosa.
that know people from Wauwatosa. It's a small world here in the curling community.
It's a very small world in the curling community.
Well, here, at least in the American curling community.
Yes, that is true. That actually kind of makes it a little more fun, though. You know.
Yeah, you run into the same people everywhere.
Yeah, it's makes Bonspiels even a little bit more enjoyable than they already are. I believe Atlanta just actually held their first Bonspiel last weekend. I think they had a 24 team. Greg can fact check me on that, but I believe they just had a Bonspiel last weekend, which is awesome. And I think they have about 5 teams at the Triangle Bonspiel coming up.
Okay, well, I'm not sure where Greg is originally from, but Greg Major is a member here at Potomac. He plays here very frequently.
Okay, sorry.
So I guess he's probably just visiting family or something down. So he might be originally from Atlanta. He might know all about Atlanta
That might be my
curling.
mistake.
He might be all about Atlanta curling, but
Yep. Yes. Yes.
no, clubs popping up
Okay,
up
got
and
the
down the
guard.
coast here. And then existing clubs building facilities up and down the coast. Both Carolina clubs, or both sort of major Carolina clubs, Triangle and Charlotte, building dedicated facilities and opening them this spring.
Yeah, and just heard from Triangle that the tentative plan is to be open all summer.
Oh, nice.
This year. They're going to go straight through to next season. So
wow.
we have dedicated ice on the East Coast this summer.
Wow, nice.
Twice, because Bucks as well.
Right. Bucks' dedicated ice is not the sort of traditional idea of
Absolutely.
dedicated curling ice. They're an arena club. They play on, manicured hockey ice. But they have brokered a deal with their ice sports center. So during the summer when there's no hockey, one of the rinks will be converted to curling ice, sort of the same way you'd be playing on at Arena Nationals or something like that.
Absolutely. It does help when your club president owns the curling rink.
Oh, I imagine it would, yeah.
That helps broker the deal, but still, it's very exciting news. I believe this weekend is when they went dedicated. So there's no hockey as of yesterday, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So they're flooding, I think, this weekend.
Right, because they have a Bonspiel coming up at the end of next month.
Start of May. Is it start of May or
end of April, start of May. It's the same
Yeah.
weekend.
Okay.
Kentucky Derby weekend.
Nice.
That's a landmark date on my calendar every year.
And I believe you're playing in that Bonspiel, are you not?
I am, yes. I will be going to the first annual Crooked Billet Bonspiel at Bucks County. Get to love visiting new clubs, love watching the Kentucky Derby.
I'm
Be a
going to
good
visit
weekend.
the Triangle Bonspiel the weekend before the housewarming spiel, their first ever dedicated spiel.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Triangle did used to host the Carolina Classic every summer.
Absolutely, yeah. This will be their first time in their own dedicated facility.
Good. Good.
Never
good.
been to the Carolina Classic myself, but I know it was a very,
Very
very
nice,
popular
thank you.
spiel. some good shot making going on here as Curtis hits and gets a little bit of roll on that last takeout. Buffington's going to try to do the same.
Oh, it looked, something happened on the release there. The stone
Yeah.
sort of flipped over out of the
Looks
thrower's
like he's going to
hand
catch
there.
a guard.
Yeah.
At least he cleaned up the front for them. Not what he wanted, but not a complete loss either.
No, both reds now mostly exposed.
Yeah. Curtis is going to try to split the house here, maybe tuck behind the yellow guard.
Yep, he wants to use that corner guard to his advantage here, try to put a lot of rocks in the house with his hammer.
Looks like a lot of ice, but I haven't played this sheet in a while, so we'll see what happens.
If they have the weight soft enough, this will bend this far, I think.
Okay.
Yep, come on, come on.
They're on it already, and she was on the broom, so might be a little light.
All right, I got it, Scott.
Mark Curtis taking the adage
Yeah.
of if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Yeah, valleying the stone in, as they say.
Okay, good try. Good sweep. Okay.
Great support of his teammates there, too.
Yeah.
Not a bad result.
So we're still not sure where Curtis is from, but he is wearing an Arkansas sweater, which leads to some questions about where his.
At least one of the people out there was wearing a Wauwatosa name tag,
Okay.
which I saw and immediately recognized because it's the kind of name that once you see it, you remember it. Maybe we've got another Wauwatosa team.
It's entirely possible. I don't know.
Apparently Southwest now flying direct from Wauwatosa to BWI.
Oh, there we go.
That's why they're just on
Very
the,
convenient.
They're just on the curling shuttle.
Ah.
Well, that's going to be a tough place. He gets one in there and try to get it out.
I think South by Southwest needs to add a curling sheet for next year, possibly. Maybe we should submit that as an idea.
Oh, at South by Southwest?
Yeah.
That was before
It would be interesting, but I don't know if I could curl with like electronic music.
It might throw off your timing a little.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
But the fans would enjoy it.
I guess. I think the biggest way to try to grow the game a little bit more would be to get hipsters into it. I mean,
It's true.
They've all got
We
the
started with Sam Sparks out of the Curling Club
they've
of
all got the
Virginia.
Instagram and stuff going.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the hashtags.
yeah. Well, they tried to Vegas up the Briar this year, so we'll see, you know.
Well, they're still Vegasing up the Continental Cup,
Very
but then
nice.
they're not going to let the United States play in it anymore.
No,
So-
they're going to play this year.
they're
It's in
gonna play this
Vegas.
year?
And so the United States will play this year in the Continental Cup. I'm actually probably going to be there this year for the Continental Cup, coming up in next January in Vegas. And there will be, they're going to go back to the original format with, I think it might be 6 Canadian teams and 2 American. That part I can't remember, but there's definitely going to be American teams there. So they're going to come back and let us in because it's in America.
Well, it's nice to know that they're going to let us play in our own event. That's,
Right.
That's so generous of them.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. It's. I'm obviously have differing alliances, so that's a tough one for me to comment on. With that being said, as Canadian as I am, I really do hope John Schuster does very well this week at the Worlds.
Oh, I love John Schuster.
I'm
Everything I've ever
a
heard about him,
gigantic John Schuster fan.
everything I've heard about him is phenomenal. He
Yeah.
sounds like he's a great guy to play with.
It does drive me crazy that he seems to have a bit of a negative reputation in the curling world. And a lot of people seem to not be big fans. I am not one of those people.
That one curled like a
I am a
banshee.
big John Schuster fan.
I mean, I have said negative things about him, mainly just along the same lines you hear from everybody else of just never being able to get it done on the world stage.
On the Olympics, yeah, for sure.
But you got to give the guy credit. Every year, we bring up a new way to have the national championship and a
And
new
every
qualifier.
year.
And every year he beats everybody that plays against
Yeah.
him. So
And this year quite handily.
Came out narrow.
Yeah, no, I really hope that we can get a playoff finish this year. I mean, obviously, it starts tomorrow. So
That's right. The men's World Curling Championship does start tomorrow.
And John has a pretty tough first draw.
He does. He had his two of his three first games are against, I think, like Canada and Sweden.
Canada's his first game.
Canada's his first game, yeah. So he's got.
And you gotta love Pat Simmons from Canada.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody watched the Briar, but that was a heck of a story.
Oh, especially coming straight off of that final. That was a crazy final.
Oh, just tomorrow night, yeah. Josh Leggett, one of my teammates from back in Richmond, has just reminded me that the Big Canada-US matchup is tomorrow night, which is John Schuster versus Pat Simmons. Should be enthralling game, and that you can catch that on the Watch ESPN app. So for all of you folks that are not got enough curling here, that's a great place to check it out.
Yep. So Mark here, he sees the double. He's got the broom down for the double.
Yep.
He's going to shoot this double.
And if he makes this double, he's going to be in control.
He will. He's the only yellows in the house. If he can get them both.
And he gets 3.
He's going to get 3 and tie this game up.
Yep.
So
not an easy shot, but it is lined up.
Yeah, I mean, it's. And there's a pretty good chance that he still comes out of this getting probably, well, maybe not. If it just jams, then there's still going to be a yellow on the bottom there. But
I mean, it's, yeah.
And because of where his red rocks are sitting out in the 12 foot, he does need to move these completely out of the house, basically.
Little wide.
He's got the weight, but I don't think he's going to catch the nose.
I don't think he's going to hit anything. He's going to field goal.
He's going to.
Oh,
he's going to
at least cut him down to 1.
And cut him down to 1. Yep.
Well, that's a lot better than a complete miss, complete flash.
He got the harder of the two. I mean, that was probably harder than just hitting it on the nose there.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, degree of difficulty does not factor into the scoring system in curling. And that is going to be another 1 for Steve Buffington.
That's not a good thing.
Couldn't really have said it better myself.
And,
it was not a good thing.
Nope.
But he keeps setting up the ends pretty well.
He does.
So he's definitely still in position to get back his 3 or 4 points he needs here to get back in this game.
He's just got to get that last
execution
execution piece.
He's got to put it together and make it.
Yep. Steve's going to go for the old centerline guard here on the first stone. Not a big surprise.
Yep. People call curling chess on ice. If that is true, then the centerline guard is pawn to e4.
I do not play chess, but I will default to my much smarter commentator that, yes, that makes sense. Is that the center first move in chess, pretty much?
It's the only one I ever use.
Okay, wow, there we go. It's pretty much the only one I ever use is centerline guard. So, although you'll see at the high level, a lot of times they do draw in, but obviously at our level, they'll usually hit.
Well, draw to top 4 is a pretty good play because you take away the chance of the other team to draw behind it.
That's true.
got a curl, lots of room.
But a lot of times the other team's going to hit.
If they peel it, it takes away your chance of a steal. But if you're winning, then that's a great spot to put yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't need the corner guard. Well, I was wide and heavy.
The ironic part is I generally, strategy-wise, I feel like the steal is maybe a little easier to call strategy on. The taking 2 or 3 sometimes tends to be a little bit more difficult.
It can be counterintuitive. Generally, to try to get a big end, you want to play your rocks to the sides of the house and leave the center open.
Right, absolutely.
But often your instinct is to try to take over the center
absolutely.
early. And you can sort of get yourself stuck on 1 if you get 1 in the center and bury it.
Yep. Struggle with that every week. It's also obviously when we add in the element of human error that we have in our game versus, let's say, the world level, the strategy changes a little bit in there as well.
True. If you watch the Briar or the World Championships, what you see curling become a game of almost pure strategy. Because when the skip calls for a stone in a certain place, the thrower puts it in that place. Between the thrower and the 2 sweepers, they put the rock at that spot. At the lower level here, at the club level, it does become a little bit also, there's strategy involved, but it becomes also a dexterity game. Can the shooter make the shot?
Right.
Part of that is on the skip. Skips need to call shots the throwers can make.
Absolutely.
So to know your team.
And you're also sometimes shooting for the, if he doesn't make it, I think he'll do this part of the shots as well.
Look at that. He shoots that gap.
Very nice.
Oh, wow. Nice shot.
And clears the yellow, not out of the house, but well over to the side to where it is easily removed from play.
Yep, absolutely. And Altarka's going to try to draw behind the center yellow. Obviously, Pittsburgh's in steal mode here. Again, Al's delivering with a stick, but also with a slide, which is, as we discussed earlier, a kind of nice take on the stick. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to guess based on Al's age that the stick is due to the knees being worn out. Which is, the stick has been a really amazing way to kind of keep the game going for a lot of the older folks that play. I know my parents up in Canada say the game's never been stronger with the older crowd, as a lot of the gentlemen can play, and ladies as well can play many more years now that they can throw with a stick. I've just been told that Al has curled for 60 plus years. So where did he curl before Pittsburgh?
Lots of room.
Where?
Never.
Canada. Okay, so Al's a Canadian. Okay, it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's I know there's an older gentleman from my home club that played in the Briar back in the day, and used to play once or twice a week, and now with his stick he plays about 6 times a week. Because his knees, before he had to kind of pace himself, and now with his stick he's able to curl like he was a junior again. So it's kind of neat.
Take it out.
Curtis looks like he's going to play the hit here on the top yellow. Bit of a tough hit. Probably, it's almost fully exposed, but there's a lot of jam possibilities here. But this is what he likes. Rock looks good out of her hand. So she's going to pick that out very nicely. Very good shot.
Thank you very much. Very nice.
He agrees with me. Very nice. Buffington is going to go back after the draw behind.
Good shot, Lori.
This is our third Vice Stones, our first Vice Stones.
So I stepped away for a minute. Have you given the scores on the sheets recently?
I have not.
Okay, well, we've got fourth end scores around the house here. We've got I don't know if I ever reported there was one for Bruce Black in the third on A, but there was. And then there was 2 more for them in the fourth. So that game is 4-3 in favor of Jason Hotra from Dallas-Fort Worth over Bruce Black from Potomac. We've got a fourth end report of 1 yellow, so 1 for Rick Balala in the fourth. So that game is 6 for Jackie Stapera and 5 for Rick Balala. We don't have a fourth end report on D, but they are playing the fifth. So I
what
imagine
was the score
that
after 3?
After 3, it was 5-0 for Laura Heer.
Wow. Laura's playing a pretty solid game against Rich Ashford.
Yeah, and Rich Ashford has a really strong team. I watched their first draw last night, and they just dominated their game last night.
I mean, Rich is a solid curler. Ian Webb is playing third for him, who's also, I believe Ian went to the D event finals last year here as the skip. So
he might have.
I'm almost positive he
don't
did.
recall. If he did, this only goes up to 2012.
Don't
Never
believe
mind.
he won the D
I was going to say,
event
well, even if he
finals.
did, it wouldn't be on here because this program only goes up to 2012 for some reason.
Oh, that's strange on our program. We're history buffs.
We're history buffs, but history stopped in 2012. There's nothing of note happened in the past 3 years.
Anyway, I'm actually pretty much positive he I believe went to the D event finals last year. One of my Sam, who plays with me, spared for him, I believe, in one of the games. So I'm not sure if this was the call. No, it wasn't the call. He was trying for the draw, but clips the outside guard and just kind of adds to the pile out front. Allows Curtis to maybe draw down under cover here.
This is going to have to do a lot to try to get around those guards. I don't think
there's any way she's around those guards. I think she's light as well. No, not that light. Good weight. Okay. She opened it up, though.
That was good weight.
He agrees with me. It was good weight. But it's a very small port there for Steve. The question is, does he try to go through it?
Oh, for the takeout?
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother.
You wouldn't bother. What would you like here?
I think I might draw around.
On the outside, that's what they're looking at right now.
Yeah,
I think he agrees with you.
Either the left or the right.
Yep.
I think the right can come down onto the red.
Yeah, I think the intern has more happy endings. The out turn, you could push them in, I guess. That's the only downside.
That's true. You have to make sure you get out around that red guard. If you come around the left, you might not. Well, you don't have the backing, but you have more coverage. So if you don't get to the backing, you're more likely to be shot
that backing.
and
You got to be pretty skinny to get to that backing. So I don't know if that comes into play really. But obviously they like that line better, and that might just be because they've seen a lot of rocks down that side of the sheet too. Rocks away. They're all over it.
And my first instinct was that it may have been a touch narrow, but I can't see because I'm sort of on the sideline.
I believe they're by. I think they're by.
By the slimmest of margins.
I think this is just a beautiful shot. Just a great shot. I mean, you've got to give Steve credit. He is really making shots here when they matter. I mean, that's just a great shot.
That doesn't clear that by anything.
No, that's tough to follow.
Yeah, just being able to see on the delay here when it went by on the monitor again, that was.
So now Curtis pretty much has no choice but to follow, but essentially has already lost his chance at a big end with that great shot by Buffington.
On the plus side for Curtis here, if he wrecks on that guard, it's his guard. So if he has the weight, he can drive that one into the house.
It's an option too. I don't think he's playing it, but that's,
he's not playing it.
No, he's not playing it, but that's a yeah.
We know the shot is
looks
tight
like he's
to that
narrow
guard.
too.
Yes.
He's all over the guard. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, he's on it.
He's on the guard. He's on the guard. I think he's light.
He's going to raise it back. We'll see how
I think he's
far.
gonna tap
he's
it.
not going to touch it. No, it moves it about a foot.
Ooh.
10 feet too light. Man.
So basically now Steve guards, I'm assuming. Just holds his one, obviously. Looking at the scoreboard, that's a pretty big one.
Man.
Yeah, the scoreboard not really reflecting just how well
No, absolutely.
Mark Curtis played
No.
the second, third, and fourth. Second, third, and fourth.
It really
ends.
came down to that sloppy second end where there was just a pile of misses. And after, 7 misses in a row, Steve breaks the streak and makes the first make. Makes the
with the hammer, the hit for
yeah,
three.
with the hammer for hit for 3. But essentially 7 misses in front of that.
Yeah, that shot really shouldn't have been there by the time
No,
the hammer came around.
absolutely not. So a bit of an anomaly end for a pretty well played game other than that one end.
Then in the third and the fourth, Mark Curtis having hammers that could have gotten him multiple points both times, and giving up the steal both times.
Absolutely, just couldn't quite execute in that last rock. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to have a shot here for multiple points. I just don't see it. I think it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah, there's not really any way to move that yellow one out of there.
And Buffington going for the draw here. He's kind of going for the jugular a little bit. Elects not to go for the guard and just says, no, I want to score 2.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting the steal.
Yep.
It's not really going to be able to be taken away from him other than
I don't disagree with the
so.
call. So, yeah, and looks like he's got a nice rock. Skinny's the guard.
Well, it's an aggressive call, and it's also
wow, just a great execution.
Wow, yeah.
I mean,
it's an aggressive
in
call.
front
It's
of the
also that
tee.
he was sort of running out of places to put rocks, so may as well just put him in the house. So he puts him in the house.
And Curtis has got a heck of a shot just to save one here.
Yeah.
I'm coming right along, Pam. Right along.
He basically has to just follow that down.
Yeah.
And then either move it back off of the forefoot or hit the inside of it.
Get the inside of it. I mean, I think Buffington cleared the guard by about 4 inches, so he's got to clear it by about an inch to make this shot. And they're giving him like no ice, so clearly it's not going to curl till the very end. Look at the ice they're giving him.
Either that or he might be throwing up weight and using the guards.
No,
here.
I don't think so.
Not that's reasonable.
I think it's just kind of backs up a little and then it moves all at the end. I can't see he's hitting. He's not in-offing here, is he?
No, like I said, the other plan for me, I think, would be running back the 2 guards.
No, he's in-offing. He's trying to play the hit and in-off.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't think he's there. No. Look at that. Great shot, but unfortunately.
It's a nice shot, but I believe the yellow is still closer.
Oh, absolutely. But great shot. That's a competitive level shot there.
Yeah, a shot that I wasn't even looking at.
No.
I thought.
It's one of those shots you kind of say, well, this is here, but it's really not
with
here.
With the weight, I thought he was maybe going to try a raise or the double run back there. Really well done for
really
as difficult
well done.
as that shot was. He shot that right across the house there. But that's going to be another steal.
Yeah.
For Steve Buffington to take
cut him down to 1.
6-1 lead.
So it wasn't a complete disaster.
And I see the 5th end score on sheet C.
Ooh.
That's
crooked.
With the hammer in the 5th, Jackie Stepera from Schenectady Curling Club scored a 5. So there was a steal of 4 in the 2nd and a score of 5 in the 5th. So they're now up 11-5 over Rick Bilala with his Chesapeake and Plainfield team.
That is a high-scoring game.
That is. I hope you took the over on that one. And we have a 4th end score over on sheet D. Rich Ashford got a 1 in the 4th. He's now in the game. That game is 5-1.
Yeah, they're
5-1 over Laura Hewer, in favor of Laura Hewer. And they appear to be nearing the completion of their fifth end, or yeah. We've got the fifth end posted on A.
7-3, it looks like, for the Viking hats.
Yes, 3 for Jason Hotra out of Dallas-Fort Worth in the fifth. So he's got 7 now over Bruce Black, Harvey Chalmers, Howard Griffin, and Daniel Black out of the Potomac Curling Club.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
The Jason Hotra team consisting of Jason Hotra, Carolyn Hotra, Kevin Ford, and Michelle Ford. Making sure I just get all the names in there for anyone whose friends and or family are watching.
And of course, they're wearing Viking hats.
Of course.
Furry Viking hats at that. It's quite impressive. So it looks like Steve is still on the steel train here. He's elected to try to draw around the centerline guards. Looks a little narrow, though.
The hat Jason's wearing, it reminds me of the water buffaloes from The Simpsons.
Yes, absolutely.
Or from the Flintstones.
Yes, absolutely. I knew it reminded me of something, but that is exactly what it is. You were right,
It's
the
not
water buffaloes.
quite the right color, but similar
no,
style.
but the
kind of
furriness,
furry
the
hat with the horns, yeah.
horns, absolutely.
Good line, just wait.
Or another stone from Mark Curtis is going to come up a bit light. Spills off of that guard. Covers the one they have okay, but that's not what they're looking for. They don't really want to have one up high and buried. They want to try to set up for a big end. And just perfect T-line weight there. Or not perfect, I guess it is over the T-line, but great draw right to the back of the button.
Your normal takeout, Lori. Normal take. Yep.
And this just isn't able to squeak by that guard.
Okay. Everything's good? Okay. All right.
The shooter and the guard that were hit spread out way to the side. Neither one hits the sideline, though, oddly enough. Leaves yellow still sitting on the back of the button, red guarding right on top of them. The fifth end on sheet D is in. That's one more point for Laura Hewer in the fifth. Laura, Arthur, Dave, and which one of their two listed players is throwing lead? I can't tell exactly, but that team is up 6-1 over the Rich Ashford team from Pittsburgh. It is Stacy. Stacy was the one throwing lead. Laura, Arthur, Dave, and Stacy over Rich, Ian, Russ, and Corinne.
Yes, yes.
Mark Curtis here playing, I would imagine, the run back here.
Whoa, whoa.
This has over curled for the run back, so it's going to make a soft peel. Put these red rocks all around the perimeter of the house. Opens up the path to shot stone, so leaving alive the possibility of the big end. To avoid that, Steve wants a guard. This has over curled slightly, but it is in play. It is a guard, a very high guard. Leaves a narrow port to the shot stone. The way the rocks are curling, it's there. You just have to be very precise to hit the window.
Yes, yes.
This is going to over curl. It's going to hit that guard that the Buffington rink just put up.
Oops, sorry.
And then it's going to tick a red rock over on top of the shot stone. So the shooter staying up as the high guard, the red in the house ticking over, both sort of bad breaks. And this is a very well-placed guard over top of the red stone, between the two red stones, the high guard and the one in the house. It's going to take away the raised takeout there.
Splitting weight, splitting weight.
Scott calling for the peel. The weight is there for this peel.
Thank you, Pam.
And there it is. The yellow is out of play. The shooter goes out of play on the side. The line opened up again for a chance to hit the shot
Doing
stone.
a tap dance.
So I'm just rejoining the action here after a little beverage break.
I was going to say, did you bring enough for everybody?
No, I'm a terrible host.
You are. But that's okay, because we here at Potomac are great hosts.
You are
So
very good hosts.
You should come by if you're in the area, enjoy our great food cooked by our wonderful kitchen staff, enjoy service from our great bar.
I love your sales pitch, but we have 20 people watching. I'm going to guess that they've all been here.
They probably are. If you're interested in watching this Bonspiel and you're in the area, you're probably already here.
Well, I mean, unless you're Chip, and then you're passed out in your bed at home with your computer up. But
Well, what Chip does
Chip's kind of an anomaly.
what Chip does in his bed with his computer is his business.
That is a good way to put it. But obviously, I'm a big Potomac fan as I drive a 5-hour round trip to get here every week on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you do that, but
Well, you guys are very hospitable.
some weeks it seems like I do that too.
Yeah, well, that's true. We don't deal with much traffic. don't think this is what he wanted. Well, maybe he did.
Guard is probably what he wanted, but I don't know that he wanted
I don't
it
think he
that
wanted
high.
to finish that much.
Good sweep in there, guy.
So,
So the way they've been curling, he can definitely get to this. The
Absolutely.
guards are high enough.
I'm going to try and throw back circle weight.
back circle, that's a different term.
More.
Yeah, he's been using
Has he got some unique terms?
different terminology. A couple shots ago, he called for appeal, but he called it splitting weight.
Splitting. So that even leads us to further questions of where he originates from. We may have to do some research here.
Let's try to draw first.
The Arkansas sweater is really throwing me off. I'm not going to lie to you.
Just a back circle draw. If I can just tap it back a little bit, that would be wonderful. We can get it to bend that much.
You definitely can get it to bend that much.
I think it's there.
I mean, his last few shots at hit weight have all over curled. So
If I can get,
And this is not the last rock, right?
correct. This is his
Okay,
first.
his
stone.
first stone.
Stones away.
All right.
He may have
Looks like
overthrown it.
that looks like a lot of weight. That is way more than back circle.
Well, it depends on which circle.
Oh, maybe it's not more back circle. Maybe we're just. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! What a pistol!
Bonk,
Push it back, push it.
back.
Oh!
It is not out of there though.
But he just a great shot. I don't know if he could have thrown it much harder and made it around
Thank you,
there as
sweepers.
well as he did.
That's a well-executed shot. He
I
is
mean,
the
if
shot
obviously
stone.
Buffington just guards it. I mean, but if for some reason he doesn't make this guard, it's a hit for 4 or 5.
Red is at the moment sitting second, third, fourth, and fifth would come down to the two blighters. From the camera, it looks like yellow, but
It does, but that's a tough camera angle.
yeah, once you get away from the center of the house, the camera over the center starts
Yeah.
looking under the stones. You really
Yeah.
can't tell where they are anymore.
I think looking at the stones from our direction looks like yellow though as well. So, but again, we don't have a great angle
It's
on it.
amazing it bent that much. Jeepers creepers.
Oh, that's not good. The good news is I didn't hit the computer. I just spilt my beer.
We can't bring you anywhere.
No, you can't. It's terrible. But somehow I missed the computer and missed the gentleman sitting next to me. So everybody's happy so far.
Everyone except you, I guess.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
you
except
paid
for
good
me
money
that
for
just
beer.
spent $3.50 on the floor. I got 50 cents a beer, so I'm going to call it $3.50. All right, so Steve looks like it's a good guard.
Actually, looks like it's carrying kind of deep.
Well, that's okay.
I mean, it's going to
He still protects
do
himself
the
against
job.
a big end.
It does. It cuts down the scoring opportunity for Red.
So Red sitting 1, essentially now forced to, I'd say, draw for 2.
Yeah, that's a pretty good opportunity.
I can use it. Yeah, I can use it.
Especially where that yellow ended up. There was sort of a play where they could try to just bump the red back a little and get maybe 2 or 3 that
Yeah.
way. But now that with that yellow cutting down the scoring zone, they have to touch red here. So 2 is going to be pretty much all they can get.
Absolutely. And it's going to have to be a good shot for 2. It's not a gimme.
No, none of them have been so far.
No,
We
that's
have
true.
seen,
Curtis
once-
has had to throw some pretty tough shots in
once
his
we
last
got
stone.
through that second end, we have seen just a shooting clinic here.
Absolutely. Clearly, they got away from the hit game, and they all favor the draw game dramatically.
Also, as I look around the shed for more score updates, I see that the teams on C are coming off of the ice. So that is going to be our final result.
So Stapera with the win there.
Yes, Jackie Stapera is going to come into the warm room with the win over Rick Balala. So they will advance into the third round, which will be tomorrow morning. And
8
that'll
a.m.
be, yes, at 8 a.m. And that'll be a
Nice
quarter-
reward to play a game at 8:45 and then play again at 8 a.m.
That's more than 12 hours. I mean, or not quite more, but
Not quite 12 from the end of the game,
Yeah.
but still.
it's legal.
All right,
It-
so
it
I
would
think
pass the
he only
labor
took.
laws in
I
those
think he only
states.
took the one there, right? Sorry, our operator was at 1. Okay, operator signals yes, it was just 1. We got kind of sidetracked on other sheet scores there. This announcing gig is a little trickier than it looks when I watch on the webcast.
Oh, I was just pulling up the program here to tell you when these teams are going to play next.
Absolutely.
And all 4 games here, all of the winners will play tomorrow morning, and they'll actually be playing each other. So the winners on A and B will play each other. The winners on C and D will play each other.
Ah, interesting. So our first winner is Stapera, obviously.
Yes, Jackie Stapera.
Which looks like she's going to be playing Laura Hewer as they're up 6-1 right now.
Yes, it is looking increasingly likely.
And she's sitting pretty buried with 2 and guarding her 2 right now in the, that would be the 6th end?
Yeah, the 5th was hung, and they're coming home.
So they're coming home in the 6th. She is on her last stone throwing a guard for 2. So Rich Ashford's going to have probably a cold draw, a tough draw to maybe get 1. Either way, Laura's going to be in strong shape with the last 2 ends coming home.
The Bruce Black Jason Hotrerink is going into the 7th end, but we do not have a score for the 6th yet. They're about 5 rocks in. And it appears that Red has thrown more, so it looks like Red would have scored.
Red has scored, so it's definitely at least a 4-point lead at the very minimum.
Yes, the worst case, I guess, would have been that it could have been a blank.
Could have been a blank. You're right.
I don't think it was. I think I saw a lot of rocks in play.
Have we seen a blank yet in this Bonspiel? I don't know if we have.
I haven't.
I haven't seen a blank. I haven't even seen anything resembling a blank.
I guess we could get one of those blanks like we saw at Women's Worlds.
Where
the referee could not tell which rock was shot after measuring.
Well, the referee could tell. The American third couldn't agree to it, I believe, is how that kind of went down.
Well, I thought once it was measured, the official sort of got to make the
No,
call.
I think it was actually came down to the thirds. And if I remember, I did not watch the game, so I'm going off of second-hand information. But I believe most people thought it was the Canadian stone that went a little farther, but the American third did not agree. And so decided to defy that, and obviously the Canadian third wasn't really too concerned because a blank versus 1 was kind of the same in their book. Yep. So said whatever. But again, I did not watch the game. That's just what I read on the blogs after. Kind of neat, though. I've never seen that in real life here.
No, I knew that was a rule, but
I don't even think I did. I didn't even know that was a rule.
Never thought it would matter.
Right. So what would happen if that was the second stone?
Oh, so the whatever was shot would count.
So you'd only get 1, and then you wouldn't get your second stone.
Right. Whichever ones are closer than
so
opposing
that's a dramatic
stones
difference versus going for first shot versus second shot.
Well, right, but the rule still applies. It's whichever ones are closer than the opposing stones count. And if you can't tell which one is closer, then neither one is closer.
Right.
So tie goes to
the logic
nobody.
is there, but it's just from more of a strategy standpoint, that's pretty tough.
Well, and it could work the other way too, where if you don't have the hammer, you think maybe you've gotten the force, but your stone is just as close, and it ends up being a blank, which is what the hammer team was probably trying to do. I wouldn't recommend that method if you are trying to blank an end.
I think it would be tricky to pull off. At our level, I just don't think it's possible. I mean, it might happen, but it wouldn't be on purpose. I'm just happy my guys say house versus hog. I mean, small steps.
That was just draw weight. That's the difference. Okay.
All right, so Buffington is sitting 1 in there. It looks like he's going to throw up another guard or maybe a top of the house shot.
Applause in the warm room.
So Hewer is...
as we predicted, they are coming off the ice over on sheet D. Laura Hewer has come home victorious in that game. So that does mean that tomorrow morning, one of the two games we'll be seeing at 8 o'clock is Laura Hewer versus Jackie Stupera.
Absolutely. And our other two games are TBD.
Okay, now just straight take, Lori, straight take.
So Curtis is going to try to, is calling the hit here. Straight takeout as he's referring to it. It's a bit of ice, so he's obviously probably throwing control. Or he just knows that she throws a little narrow.
Yes, yes.
Looks like a good toss, though.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Might even get the inside roll here. This is going to be a great shot.
Thank you very much.
Just a beautiful shot there by the second from Team Curtis. Hits and rolls under cover. In front of the tee line, so Buffington's going to try to freeze to it, but Altarka here to deliver the freeze. Line looks pretty strong. I think it's a little tight. They're going to get on it.
Yeah, I think it was fine. It's starting to curl a lot.
I think he's got it.
No, he's by. He's got room.
Might be a little heavy, but he can afford to be heavy here. Yeah. So he moves it back quite a ways. He moves it to the 4 foot. Probably not what they wanted there.
No, you normally can be a little heavy on a freeze, but when you're freezing the top of the house, you don't have to worry about that result there.
That's not something we're used to, though. It's just not a common call. Not that it was the wrong call. It's probably the right call.
Yeah, I think in that case, a freeze in the top of the house, while it doesn't make you the shot stone, it makes you in a position where you can't be taken out as easily.
But in all fairness, Buffington here is perfectly happy to give up one. With the scoreboard the way it looks right now.
He doesn't mind if he gets stolen on. He really doesn't mind if he only gets one here, too.
One is good. I mean, if he gives up one, he's coming home up 3 with a hammer. That's pretty enviable position.
Yeah, but at this point, he's just trying to get through the ends, basically. He's ready to, if there was a curling equivalent of sort of kneeling and run out the clock, that's what he would be doing.
Right. He's playing 4 corners, so to speak. For those of you that are more familiar with basketball.
I haven't the slightest.
So 4 corners as they pass it around. Before the shot clock, they would stand on all 4 corners and just basically pass it back and forth with one guy running around the middle, and that way they would run down like 2 minutes of the clock. It was a famous Dean Smith move at North Carolina. He actually invented it. I think they gave him a little tribute last week after he passed away. They played the 4 corners for the first play of their last regular season game. And they actually scored on it too, which was kind of ironic. Not a scoring play, but you know. But that was one of the many things that Dean Smith invented or revolutionized in the game.
So we do have a 6th end score on sheet A. It was another 1 for the red team, Jason Hotra. They've got someone's in front of the board again.
8-3 or 4, I think. 8-3 lead, I believe.
That does look right, yes, because I think it was 7-3.
I believe it was 7-3. I think it was a 4-point lead. Now it's a 5-point lead. So he's in pretty strong position.
He is.
Black's going to need some black magic to get back in this game.
Is that legal?
For Bruce Black, anything's legal.
Okay.
You get the better of me. Got a curl. Got a curl. Here it comes.
The last time I curled against him, he told me he was flying to Australia for a 2-hour meeting. So that's the level he plays at. It's a long ways to go for a 2-hour meeting.
Follow that
it's
one.
Only a day or so.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 18 hours of travel for a 2-hour meeting each way. So it's got to work a little bit to get by that. Oh, I think he's goodbye. Oh, look at that bend. Keep coming, and he'll be great. Unfortunately, doesn't get there.
Get down to outcount the other two red stones, but he would be.
Still be up 2 coming
he'd
home.
still be well up coming home with the hammer.
With the hammer up 2 is a pretty strong position, and then some.
Yeah, it's tough to steal too.
I got to think coming home up 2 with has got to be, your winning percentage has got to be in the high 90s.
I would think if it came down to it and he wasn't able to get out of the situation, he'd probably be willing to give up even 3 or 4 here.
3 definitely. 4, I might have lost the game coming home up tied with today.
Oh,
so.
I have in the past. It's not a sure thing just because you have the hammer that you're going to score.
Absolutely not. As Steve has proven today, as he stole most of these points.
Yes, 50% of his points have come from steals.
Yeah.
75%.
He's had a good run on steals tonight. So the first stop, first rock for Curtis. He's trying to draw in behind that as well.
It's over.
So he's happy to guard that as well. So clearly he believes in his steal ability because he's also going to guard against his 2.
There we go.
So barring something crazy, it looks like Curtis is going to take, well, he may try to run back, I guess, for a 3rd.
Pretty nice formation on the guards here. Well arranged.
So Buffington seems to be debating. What do you think they're debating down there? We pick up the...
we can't. He's not wearing a microphone.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't. So just cold draw through the port.
There's not really a lot of ports. I guess there's that one just to the right of the
port's
center
there
line.
on the wheelchair mark or wheelchair line.
Yeah, it's big enough for him to walk through, so it's big enough to throw a rock through.
Yeah, it's there. It's a tough shot, don't get me wrong, but it's a game winner if he makes it.
Well, it's made a lot of good shots.
If he makes this draw, that's game. I don't think there's a lot of damage here either.
Yeah, you got to figure if yellow scores in this end, it's just about over. And even if they don't, it's
just
still
about over.
Still a big hill to climb for Mark Curtis.
Yep.
All right, they're all over it right away. Now they're cleaning.
I think they need to let this curl, or they might end up putting another
right
red
in
one
front
into
of
the
it.
house.
Yeah, they're definitely not through the port. No doubt about that.
No, they got to the inside of that guard, though, so they didn't promote it back.
And that's a big old mess for Curtis. I mean, it really doesn't have much. He's got the in-off, or the promote, the angle promote, I guess, on one of those guards out to the side. Those 2 that are stacked side by side. It's an extremely difficult shot. But I don't see anything else. Do you, Mike?
No, I don't think there's any way for him to
get 3.
Improve the spot he's in at the moment. I think.
Well, he's looking at that angle right there. I mean, that's about it.
I think you just put something up in front of one of the yellow guards and take away one of these promotes.
Well, this is his last stone.
Oh, this shouldn't be hammer. He scored last end.
Angle raise.
Oh, he did. You're right. My fault. He did score last end.
Angle raise.
I mean, there's not really anything that can go wrong here on the angle raise. Actually, there is. If he raises onto the yellow, he could put that into the 4-foot, but that's a really steep angle.
But I think with the scoreboard, he's got to be aggressive.
Yeah, he needs to try to get another point if he can. This isn't a bad way.
I think he's got to throw this. Looks close.
They need to hold this out there. Oh, Oh, yeah, they did. Okay.
Let's
Let's
move
see
it a
where
little
this ends
bit.
up. It's coming in. It's going to come across the house. Oh, it does sit on top of the yellow, but it was light enough.
Yeah, it
didn't
was light
graze
enough
into
that
the
it
floorboard.
was the right shot. He threw the right weight.
Ooh.
So Buffington has a shot to get in there.
Shoot. Needed to curl just a little more.
He does now. Now there's a port on the right-hand
It's the only
side.
downside of that attempt that he did open up a port.
Yeah, yellow can get one in there. They can get fully into the 4-foot and get shot here, but it's tight.
And again, as we said last shot, that if Steve can manage to pull one out here, that pretty much seals the game.
Yeah, the what would it be? We need a 5 to tie.
Yeah, I think it
Pretty
would've-
unlikely.
yeah,
Not impossible, but
Pretty
not-
unlikely
not
when you're playing
right to
against
it
a
anyway.
5 to get a 5. That's the problem. It's not that 5 is unheard of. It's more that 5's unheard of when the other team just has to not give up 5.
Oh yeah, when it's the 8th end.
When they
I
just
mean,
have
you
to
see-
hit 3 takeouts.
Yeah, you can see 5s sometimes develop when neither team is playing for a 5.
Right.
You just see one missed shot and then rocks pile up in the house. But
Exactly. I'm sure you've been a victim of a 5. I know I have. So.
I'm sure I
And
have.
I've
I
been
can't
the
remember
fortunate
as-
recipient as well. So.
Yeah, I can't recall an exact scenario, but it's definitely happened. I've been doing this enough that.
He's definitely short, well short. So it's not going to be a factor.
Nope. So that's going to be 2 for Mark Curtis.
So it makes it interesting coming home.
It does.
We gotta
So
keep-
Steve
we gotta
Buffington's going
keep
to keep the
playing.
hammer, and all he has to do is not have 2 stolen on him.
Right. Should be fairly straightforward, but we all know that's not always the way it works.
No, he's probably just going to play a pretty conservative end. A lot of takeouts, keep the house empty. And
One would think.
One more.
actually, yeah, refill.
Thank you.
So we've got a 7th end score on sheet A in the other game. Bruce Black was able to put up a 3 in the 7th, and so that game is going to be 8-6 in favor of
Okay,
Jason
good sweeping.
Hotroff,
Thank
the
you, ladies.
Dallas-Fort Worth club. So with Mark's first rock, they put up the guard. That's the first thing you do when you're trying to set up a steal. Steve Buffington's first turn also ends up a guard. That's definitely not what he was looking for, I don't think. And so Mark Curtis is going to have his lead. Scott Ron throw the second stone here. Looking to draw around behind the guards into the house.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Whoa, whoa.
This is over curling, and it's going to be on the yellow. So they come up, let it hit light. It's going to over curl a little bit more and just be another guard in the pile.
Oh, man.
Yale team second stone. Another attempt to draw around. Steve tells the sweepers to get out of the way, and he takes over for them and drags the rock into the top of the 12-foot.
Good job. Good sweeping.
Draws it around the guard. He knows what he's doing out there. Mark Curtis's second Lori run needs to try to match that with a draw even deeper into the house, but right into the guards.
Yep.
And it's going to come up light. So not what he's looking for, but not any real harm there, other than the fact that he needs to hurry up and get 2 rocks in the house if he's going to have a chance to win this game. Tarka's draw is coming around the guards, around the stone at the top of the house. Coming back to the tee line,
Nice
onto
shot.
the button,
Way to go,
onto
Al.
the tee line.
Follow him in, Lori. Follow him in.
Not quite all the way under the guards, but definitely a threatening stone to take over the house.
Need about 10 more feet of weight.
Here Mark making the weight call there.
Got a curl. It's got a curl. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here she comes. Here she comes. Whoa, whoa. I'd rather have it out there so we can use it again. Very nice, Lori. Very nice. Yep.
That's another well-thrown stone. Right on the line. Maybe about 2 feet light of the target weight, but definitely a good spot to be in. You heard Mark say that they can use that again, and they can. And Steve Buffington puts up the guard to prevent that play of using that red stone that was just thrown.
Splitting weight. Splitting weight.
You hear Mark Curtis call for splitting weights. The term I'm more familiar with, I think, for what he's trying to say is peel, but what he's looking to do is remove a stone from play and remove the shooter along with it. In this case, I think he's just looking to hit this massive guards in the middle and just spread them out. He's on the red, the yellow is back, onto the other yellow.
Okay, well, yep. I thought it was lined. All right.
Not a bad attempt there at the, would that have been a double raised double? Wasn't perfectly lined up. Pretty close, and definitely pretty good weight to move all those stones in line like that. And with the guards up front now spread out a bit, there's some different runbacks he can try to play to try to get in and be shot, and actually he needs to be 1 and 2.
Thanks, Harvey.
on A. Bruce Black looked that he was sitting the 2 that he was going to need to steal, but I think it was Kevin Ford, the vice for the Jason Hotra team. I'm sorry,
Same weight.
Carolyn Hotra, the vice for the Jason Hotra team. Just made a really nice double takeout. Actually, Bruce only has 1 rock left, so I believe that was actually the other skip. That was Jason Hotra. Here back on B, we've got a run back onto the guard.
Oh, good try. All right.
Leaves that one on the T line, so they're going to sit 2nd and 3rd, leaving themselves a bit of an opportunity to try to steal 2. The first thing they're going to need is that double run back, and so that's where Steve Buffington's going to put his guard, is right out in front. This is just over the hog line, right in front of the red. A little bit close, so if Mark wants to try the double run back, which is now going to be a triple run back.
Which one?
They're not perfectly lined up. A
That's
lot of
probably
different
the
rocks
one.
could squirt out the wrong direction there.
I got to hit.
Oh, he's
it
looking
right
at the
there.
angle on the side there. The yellow onto the red onto the yellow. The vice telling him to look at the yellow onto the red onto the red onto the yellow.
Okay. All right. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Gotta hit it. You gotta hit it. On your
I
side,
believe
just a
what we
touch.
just saw in sheet A was Jason Hotra miss with the hammer, the takeout on shot stone. So that is a steal of 2 for Bruce Black. And so what that means
Be a
is
double,
after
well,
8
it'd be a
ends,
triple raise.
we have 8 for Jason Hotra, 8 for Bruce Black. We're going into bonus curling. So we will take you over there as soon as we're done here on sheet B. Assuming that this
less.
game does not also go into a 9th
Coming
end.
right along. Yes, yes, yes!
Calling hard for the sweep. Let's see what he's got here. He's on the yellow. Oh, but he doesn't put it onto the red. And just spills that guard out. Could leave himself the straight run back now, though, the way those moved aside. Steve Buffington wants to guard that again.
That one curled, even with that weight. I guess I didn't need to narrow the broom.
Or we should have spoke to the time
Yeah. I needed more ice, the same weight and a little bit more ice.
All right, Steve's first stone in the 8th. He's looking for the guard.
Get over there. Get over there. Get over there. Get over there. Get over there.
And there it is, right in front of the red stone. Mark Curtis now is going to have to make one of these tricky run backs.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's straight back. Yep. Got a nose hit it. Yep. Yeah, so we take the, yep, a little more. We know it curls.
All right, so this is his last rock at this end. He's looking for the yellow onto the red, onto the yellow. If he can get the red onto the yellow and the back yellow out of the house, he will be sitting 2, which is the current score difference. Then Steve Buffington will have 1 shot to change that result. If he doesn't, then we would also be going into an extra end on this game. But that requires 2 big shots to happen. Let's see what we got.
Come on, curl. Curl, come on. You did it last time.
And he's
Nice game.
just a little bit wide of the target.
You curled super, ma'am. You just really nice curler.
He's not able to get the steal of 2 in there. So we've got handshakes here on sheet B. Steve Buffington out of the Pittsburgh club with Jim Meyer, Al Tarka, and Marie Rose
well. Nice game.
coming into the warm room with the win over Mark Curtis, Pam Elenick, Lori Ron, and Scott
Big
Ron.
Al, you're making shots all over the place. You're breaking my heart.
Buffington
You're breaking
rink
my heart.
will be
Good
playing
going.
tomorrow morning.
Sorry.
Mark Curtis.
That one didn't curl.
No, that one didn't curl.
Why didn't
Same
that curl? It was the same weight.
Yeah, it was.
Lori, it was the same weight, right?
Yeah, same way.
His game is going to move on to
course,
play
absolutely.
tomorrow morning as well, but later in the morning as they fall into the 3rd event. No, that's still the 2nd event.
Oh, here.
So now we've
this is
brought you
yours.
over here to sheet A
Let's turn it around.
for the rest of the 9th end of Bruce Black versus Jason Hotra.
There we go. Nice. I can blow it up. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Good.
I didn't even realize you were here. I just want to say hi. So, what do you do now?
Applause in the warm room for a strong finish there for Mark Curtis and Steve Buffington coming into the warm room. Yes, bonus curling. We love bonus curling, especially when it's in the last draw of the night and it's not affecting the next draw.
Especially when the last run of the night is crazy late.
Yeah.
Did it work?
All right, so now I have to try to look over and see what we got going on sheet A. It's hard to see exactly. It looks like Team Black sitting with 3 or 4 rocks or 5 rocks in the house. None of the 4 foot. A red stone in play in the back. This looks like the intended call is going to be a hit and roll in. There's the hit, but it's going to roll out. So the shot stone still the yellow in the top of the 8-foot circle. As we go to Harvey Chalmers' second stone. Harvey's shot rubs on the guards, but he's a little heavy. It rolls into the back of the house. It's in the back of the 12-foot. So yellow with plenty of stones in the house. None of them making a strong case to be the shot stone, but yet they are counting. As we go to Carolyn's second stone of this 9th end. She's got the hit and the raise back, removes the shot stone, rolls the top one out to the side. It's questionable which stone is closest to the center. They're all so far.
Excuse me, mind if I reach over you real quick here? There we go. Yeah, so we have this master box here, and the third, so each house has a near and a far, and then the third setting is whatever we're watching over here.
All right, as we move down to Skips Rocks, 9th end. The call looks to be just a draw, try to take over the center of the house. Sweepers are on it pretty quick after the release. See if I can't turn up the microphones out on the ice shed a little bit. We don't have mics on these skips, but we can get some more audio from the shed. That draw is going to just bite the edge of the 8-foot circle, so it is now the shot stone closest to the pin. Not under a guard, but yellow sitting in all the corners of the house. The red team having the last stone advantage in this end. Maybe looking to maybe just clear out those yellows at the top, but it looks like they're going to try to draw around. Just bury one in the center under the yellows. That would give them a pretty good chance to score in this end and win this game. Each team just looking for 1 point here. Let's see if the sweepers can bring this around. They touch the side of the Yellowstone, but spill over. I can't tell you which one's closer, especially now that someone's standing over them. I think it's yellow from the overhead cam, but the overhead cam is not official. Bruce Black, last stone of the 9th end. Looks like he might be calling for the in-off. Hit and roll off of that side red. Roll to the center. Big time shot, high leverage situation, you could say. Stone is away, and the sweepers are on it the entire length of the sheet. They're playing the raise on the yellow, but they're going to come up light. So while they do, in fact, guard what I believe is the shot stone, Jason Hotra has the last rock, and he just has to either just draw to more than halfway into the 8-foot circle to be the shot stone, or if he touches that red, he needs to move it. Can't be more than 2 inches. Either way, with all the rocks we've got in play, this is not going to be a blank end. So this will be the last stone of the game, unless we end up with some sort of tie where we can't measure which one is closer. When this comes to rest, we'll know. Will it be 1 red, 1 yellow? It makes contact. It moves the stone. I can't tell you which one's closer. I think we're going to have to get out the measuring device. I think even if they can tell, I think they should measure this anyway. To come down to this close, I think we want to have a definitive call one way or the other. Ninth end, last stone, and now we're going to measure. It doesn't get closer than this. Unfortunately, our overhead camera mounted in the ceiling doesn't have any zoom capability or anything, So we can't zoom in on that dial and tell you what's happening. We just have to watch them push the device around and go from that. We've got a setting on the yellow. We swing it around. We get a setting on the red. We've moved the device to the side. They're shaking, but they're not showing us which stone it is. Handshakes all around, so the game is over, but we don't know which stone is closer. They haven't moved the stones. They're moving them both away. I don't know who won the game. The word around the warm room is that it was yellow. Oh, they put it on the scoreboard. 1 yellow, which will make it 9-8 after 9 ends. Your winner in the extra, Bruce Black. Vice Harvey Chalmers, second Howard Griffin, lead Daniel Black. Steals 2 in the 8th, steals the 1 in the 9th. What a game, what a finish. Thank you to the 12 of you who stuck around for the end of that. Great game, though, also to the runners-up in that game. Jason Hotra, Carolyn Hotra, Kevin Ford, Michelle Ford. Heartbreaking loss, but this was a first event game. Neither of these teams had a loss yet, so with that first loss, Jason Hotra's team not out of the tournament. They will play in the second event tomorrow morning. So with that win, Bruce Black will advance to play against the winner of our feature game that we just saw, Steve Buffington. Also from the other 2 sheets, we had Jackie Stapera victorious on sheet C, Laura Hewer on sheet D. Those 2 teams will meet each other in the morning. Looking at the draw, using this draw that someone wrote all over with the wrong teams on, so I don't remember, but the 4 winners that we saw from the previous draw, those 4 teams will also be playing each other tomorrow morning in the A event quarterfinals. Someone will be with you at 8 a.m. to broadcast those games. The runners-up, the teams that did not win these games, they'll be playing in the second event tomorrow morning at 10:15 in the second draw of the day. With that, I think that's about it. That's our last draw of the night. We're done for the day. Thanks for watching. Good night from the 13th annual Cherry Blossom Bonspiel.
Do you want to play short game?